latest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. As always, I'm Pro. I got my man UH with me and my man Panero. What's popping, my boys? It is a Sunday morning, man, and we're going to get it popping once again. As I said last week on last week's episode, when we come back in, it's going to be October, and I'm Yankees down. Let's get it. A blue October is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, man, it's good to see y'all, man. How you feeling, UH?
I feel good, man. I feel good. Like you say, this is quite possibly, we're coming up on my favorite time of year, which is the month of November. You got it all. You got college basketball, college football, baseball just ended, pro basketball, pro football. So I'm looking forward to the next 3 months full of just being on the couch and enjoying and just enjoying it. Oh, I joined a new gym. I had to get rid of the gym, get rid of the LA Fitness Trap, and I joined a gym that's actually two blocks from my house. So y'all can watch my fitness journey as we continue to watch the episodes. But I'm good. Glad to be here with you boys.
No doubt. That's what's up. Open them lungs up a little bit. You know what I mean? What's up with you, Panera? How was you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. My mob is down. My Buffalo Bills, man. We injured around here, man.
As you all know, it's Sunday morning, football Sunday. We got football for breakfast here, NFL one time. But as you were saying about the Buffalo Bills, man, give it to me, cousin.
Wide receiver, Khalil Shakira, he down. Taylor Rapp is down. Ed Oliver is down. Bernard is down. We out there, you know what I'm saying? It's a war of attrition out there in Houston. But shout out to the Mafia. I see y'all on the book all down there taking over Houston. Much respect. Peace to my man Haas.
No doubt. Peace to the Bills, man. Let's get one done. Man.
No doubt, man. It was a real interesting week, especially how that Sunday night went off with our home team not looking good at all. But we're going to keep pushing this episode of The Soup, man. So this week, we got a lot to talk about, man. We saw the judge in Colorado come down on Miss Tina Peters out there. She's out there, a Trump acolyte. There are consequences and repercussions to everything that you're doing out here. So if you mess around, you'll find yourself underground. So, at the end of the day, we're going to talk about Miss Tina Peters. We also got to get into the VP debate. How much of the VP debate did you see, UH, or did you just get clips of the debate?
No, I probably got like the first 20 minutes where I saw that Tim Walz was trying to get his feet together. And then because that's what's funny. I was just thinking about that when you mentioned that. Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are the same way. Like they were like trying to find their footing the first couple of 20, 30 minutes. And then once they got it, they was on it. So
once they hit the stride, they started.
Once they caught their footing, they were just full stride, like you said. It was good. Like I said, the first half an hour, then I caught the clips after the next day.
What about you, Panero? How much of it at all did you catch live, or how much did you just get clips and different things of this week?
Most of it was clips for me, but it was a lot of clips. You know what I'm saying? So I put a lot of it together, but the way I work, it was hard for me to get it live. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, as I said, man, this is October. We are officially today 29 days and a wake up. I'm going to give it to y'all like that right now. Wake up, right?
Wake up.
For the election. And there's been a lot of shady stuff jumping off in the news, and we're going to get into all of that and into the soup this week. What I want to do is I want to play a little bit of this VP debate. I like to look at it, man. I don't really like to all the time just get it from CNN or get it from MSNBC or just turn over there on Fox to see what they have brewing over there. Sometimes I like to get national with it, man. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to check out a clip from Sky News and how they broke it down about the debate. So let's get into that real quick. It was a real interesting week with the VP debate. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and share this Sky News piece that they did with regards to the debate. They talked a little bit about MSNBC and a little bit about CNN during this clip. So let's get into that right now.
Tim Walz and JD Vance went head-to-head in their first ever vice presidential debate, broadcast live on CBS. The debate was praised for being much more substantive than the presidential debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump just last month, with a much deeper dive into policy issues rather than personal jabs, which characterized the Harris-Trump debate. But it was ultimately J.D. Vance's confidence in debating, knowledge of policy, and slick presentation that won him the night. Even leftist media like CNN were forced to admit Tim Walz lost the debate.
I think there was a clear lack of preparation and execution here.
I think actually it's the opposite. I think he had too much preparation.
Maybe.
He had so many lines that he was clearly trying to say that he didn't listen and said, when J.D. Vance said one of the many things he really hit Kamala Harris on, not Tim Walz, but Kamala Harris, he didn't respond because he clearly had things in his mind. I think the lack of interviews that he has done with national media, with local media, it showed. He needed more reps.
Yeah, no, I agree. J.D. Vance is much more experienced at this, at public speaking, at defending himself, at pivoting.
MSNBC's Rachel Maddow was less generous with her praise, admitting that Vance was slicker, but Walz had a stronger grasp on policy.
A cordial debate between these two men. I wouldn't describe them as evenly matched because they are so different in style and so different on substance. Very interested to hear from the spin room, to hear from all of my colleagues here, to get to all of the analysis that we're going to get to. I think the big picture takeaway from this is that one of these candidates is much slicker than the other, is a much more practiced, kind of professional debate style speaker, and the other candidate won. There was one bad moment for Tim Walz in this debate where he got mixed up and embarrassed in answering a question about exactly what month he had been in China in relation to the Tiananmen Square protest. But then on guns, on January 6th, on Obamacare, on the economy, on blaming everything on the border, back again on healthcare, on abortion, on every issue on substance, J.D. Vance was very polished and very slick, and Tim Walz beat him on all the substantive points. At least that was my take on it.
J.D. Vance made the unprecedented move of pushing back against the fact-checking of the moderators, which is what many berated Donald Trump for failing to do during his presidential debate. Many commentators applauded this, with this commentator saying, "Just now, CBS moderators fact-checked J.D. Vance and refused to let him fully respond and eventually cut his mic." But this MSNBC host had a different take, accusing J.D. Vance of mansplaining the all-female moderators.
Like muting power. And I actually think if you're a woman, that might be the worst moment J.D. Vance had, because he was going to mansplain right over that mute button. And again, I don't pretend to know how everyone will react to this. I think that a lot of women in positions of authority that should command respect just by virtue of that dynamic will see themselves, and some do, that disrespected them and talked over. There was a moment like that with the vice presidential in the Harris-Pence debate.
The ABC was also forced to admit Vance's victory after a Democrat strategist said Vance performed better on the night.
One Democratic strategist in a battleground state was actually very critical of Walz's performance tonight, telling us Vance is much better at this than Walz. I don't think it matters much, and there's good moments for both sides, but if I have a frustration, is that I don't know what Walz's strategy was tonight. He said his advice to him would have been, you have one job. Go to Trump into debating the VP again. Let it rip.
And more of the leftist media seems to be turning on the Democrats, with CNN's Jake Tapper calling out the Harris-Walz campaign for their lack of public-facing interviews.
I've interviewed you more this week than I've interviewed the entire Democratic ticket this year, but that's a separate issue.
Okay, but the Democratic ticket has not been the Democratic ticket for very long. So
Make them all three of them. So make it all three.
MSNBC's Jen Psaki also came out against Walz, saying Vance seemed reasonable and Walz was missing magic.
Look, I felt that if you're sitting at home and you were watching and you were not fact-checking and you weren't familiar with what J.D. Vance had said previously or what Donald Trump stood for, he seemed at many moments to be reasonable. Yeah. And that was clearly a change in tone, and I know you all were talking about the strategic shift there. That was interesting to watch.
Watching Tim Walz, what I thought about was when he emerged onto the scene, we all probably interviewed him 5 times during Veep Stakes. He would propelled himself single-handedly into Veep Stakes, right? He became the running mate because their chemistry, but also because he was so effective at connecting people authentically and organically on television. He's been absent. I think that's a huge mistake to hold him back and not put him out there.
Meaning he hasn't been in the media.
He hasn't been out in the media for a while. He's been absent. I do think that's a missed opportunity. But tonight, I felt like he was spending a lot of time in the first half or 2/3 proving he read the briefing materials.
ABC's Lindsay Davis slammed Walz with a major insult, likening his performance to Joe Biden's debate performance against Trump.
It reminded me of the June 27th debate when Kamala Harris that night said of Joe Biden, it was a slow start, but a strong finish. And that's how I felt that Tim Walz did tonight. You know, to use Tim Walz's own words, a lot about this debate tonight was weird. There were uncomfortable, cringy moments, but overall, I think my takeaway was something that Reince Priebus said on the outset, which was that J.D. Vance needed to come away as that humble, likable guy from Hillbilly Elegy. It seemed like he did perhaps get some points in that area.
But not everyone on the left was ready to admit defeat. MSNBC's Nicole Wallace had an epic meltdown over J.D. Vance.
It's the audacity. I agree with you that we're in year 9 and no one knows how to cover the audacity. The audacity is that someone should have said, stop it, stop. Are you effing kidding me? And they should have dropped that F-bomb, right? They should have just, this is a debate. This may be the only chance people have to see the difference.
Yeah, man. So there you have 2 of the big 3. Obviously, they didn't have Fox up there because we all know what Fox would have been, and they would have painted a picture that none of us saw up there. Just listening to the pundits up there speak, what did you take away from Sky News report?
I thought it was pretty balanced. You know what I mean? That's something we usually don't get to see in America because most of our coverage leans left or leans right. I'm a CNN MSNBC guy, but I'm sure there are people out there who are Fox News, Newsmax guys. It's good to see that someone can look at it outside of the American experience and give their opinion. Now, I'm more like Rachel Wallace when she said that he appeared to be smoother. Rachel Maddow, when she said he appeared to be smoother, but he really had no substance, and he lied a trillion times as well. And at the end, he didn't admit that Donald Trump lost the elections. It reminds me of you go to a restaurant and the menu looks great, and you start eating the food, and it's all right. But then once you 10 minutes after you leave, you're hungry again because it was full of fillers, like MSGs or something like that. I think it was just a bunch of filler, man. It looked good, sounded good, but it wasn't of any substance.
P, like you said, you got your clips and different things of the debate, and now just listening to like I was saying, UH, the pundits, CNN, and also MSNBC.
I think it was clever for you to use an outside source. You know what I mean? To see the balance. Like Don said, we don't get that here. But again, you know me, it's snake oil to me. It's just like the way it started. Vance was like, he was articulate in his lies, and it was very smooth. And Coach started off, he's not an actual debater. He told VP Harris when she selected him, he told her, he was like, I'm really not a good debater. You know what I mean? He's good on the grounds. He's good with policy. He's good with certain areas, but he admitted, I'm really not that good of a debater. But as it went on, it looked like he got stronger and stronger as it went on. So the fact that J.D. Vance would say certain things like there was a peaceful transfer of power, knowing that there wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Saying that he saved Obamacare, that Trump saved Obamacare, knowing that he didn't. It leveled the playing field because lies and truth. I think it put Coach, I think he won the debate because of the lies that J.D. Vance told. But if you're looking strictly as a debater and you're looking at points when it comes to smoothness, then it goes to Vance. But we're looking here at of a certain age. We don't care how smooth you are. Tell us the truth, man. We don't give a fuck about all other bullshit, snake oil shit.
And at the end of the day, J.D. Vance went to Ivy League school. We went to what, Howard?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No worries.
You know what I mean? So he went to Yale. So obviously he was cultured in this type of setting. This is what he went to school basically to do. You know, so it shined through that he was more polished there than Tim Walz, who probably went to the University of Minnesota or the University of Nebraska, frat boy, you know, slamming beers. That you can relate to. From what I saw of the debate, that was only that one moment where he basically stood out. That wasn't a good answer. It's like when you in that interview and you was like, and they hit you with that one question and you didn't answer that question to the utmost, and you thinking in the back of your head, man, I could have answered that a little better than what I did. And he had that moment, and that moment stuck out for sure. And JD Vance didn't have a moment like that. He was up there with his Harvard education, but he just didn't have his pen or whatever on his lapel up there. But again, he showed what he went to school for and what he was up there to do. And again, on this substance of it all, Coach Walz blew him out the water because we all know he was up there telling a bunch of tales. He said Trump did everything to fight to save Obamacare. Come on, man. I understand what Nicole Wallace got hot at when he got up there and said that. He could have really went hard at him more so than what he did. But again, that ain't his nature.
That's not what he done.
We want him to be who he is so we can see who he is at the end of the day. But
one other thing, Fro. The thing is that when JD Vance was like, I don't know if you heard it or not, when he said, I thought I wasn't going to be fact-checked. So you went up there thinking you was just going to be able to just spew the lies? You wasn't going to get checked on it? Come on, man.
Once he knew that he wasn't going to be fact-checked and he said it in front of us all, he loosened his tie a little bit, like, now I'm right at home. Trump had the peaceful transfer of power, a lie. He couldn't say that he lost the election. So it's real dangerous rhetoric going on out there. We talked with you last week about the situation, and it happened in the state of Tennessee too with the damages from Helena. But thankfully it didn't hit Nashville as it hit other parts of Tennessee. And what I'm getting at is how these people are just blatantly lying stuff. And people are buying it. They talking about FEMA as not out there doing what they're supposed to do.
They stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants that they want to have vote for them. We're missing $1 billion they gave them to the migrants that came in, and now we don't have the money.
And those is lies, man, and people fall for it every day, all day.
Go ahead, UH. One cat on my Facebook feed, man. This is a clown, like a clown for real. But I like
Bozo.
Man, every kind.
Donald,
man, any kind of clown you can name. He's a direct descendant of them. Put it that way. They all got together in an orgy and made him.
Let me get mine in. Krusty.
Homie.
All of them. You know went crazy on him. The dude from this boy's a fool, man. But you know what I do? I keep him on my TL because I like to see the propaganda that the right is spewing. You know what I mean? This week they had a meme out about $34 billion to Ukraine, 17 billion to Congo. They put all these black African countries on it, right? It was like it was Ukraine, then it was like 4 African countries, and it was like, oh, FEMA's out of money for Americans. You know what I mean? 9,000 for each immigrant. But it looks good. But if you understand the government, you understand that FEMA has a budget like every other agency does. And all it takes is for Congress to go back in and say, you know what? They need more money and chop them out some more bread. So come on, man. It's amazing to me that people are really that dependent on things that they see, not what they know, or taking the time to make sure that it's true. It's amazing, man. It is truly amazing.
It's dangerous is what it is. We laugh about Agnes, go get your check and all of that type of stuff, but it's to a whole different level with these people, because these people is willing to lay down their lives and go to war for it. Right. I say that to give y'all this, man. There was a affluent European who fell hook, line, and sinker for Trump's propaganda about him winning the election. And she went so far that she was going to make moves with the voter with the vote and the election machines and different things of that nature, turn a blind eye and say, come on in. So the person I'm talking about here is Tina Peters, man. Let's check her out one time and see what she has to bring to the suit.
Do you have the iPad? Okay, where'd you put it?
You don't have to tell you anything.
To who? I'm not sure exactly.
They don't have to.
Hey, Bob, let's detain Randy.
Okay,
No.
Randy, put your cup down and turn around. Ma'am?
No. Let go of me. You let go of me. Let go of me. Nonsense. Let go of me. Let go of me. No, oh no. Let go of me. Go. It hurts. Let go of me. Give me my
Do not kick. Do you understand?
Stop it. No, let go of me. Yes, you are. Caleb.
Just
back, ma'am. Let go.
Let's walk over here and put her in the car.
Stop. You're hurting me.
Walk then.
You're hurting me. Damn it.
Okay, you're under arrest right now, okay?
You are hurting me.
Walk.
Man.
I'm holding on to your jacket.
Walk away, lady. Walk away.
What are you talking about? Get out of my pants.
I am conducting a search. If you move, you will find additional charges.
Find additional charges? This is like arrest without cause.
Anything about the assholes that run down the street?
Ms. Peters, you have the right to address me before I impose any sentence upon you.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's with a heavy heart that I hear the vile accusations and the anger levied against me for what I did to serve the people of Mesa County. You know, maintaining my innocence is not disrespect for the law. I respect the jury verdict based on the evidence that they were allowed to hear. There's much that they weren't allowed to hear. I never intended a video of the trusted bill to be made public. I did not authorize it to be made public. I asked questions about Dominion violating election laws. Judge, I'm asking for probation. Since 2022, I've been on restriction, and now I have an ankle bracelet that I've been compliant with that. As a Christian woman and as a gentle person, basically, that stepped up to run for county clerk and recorder because we had 3.5-hour wait times from the prior, who is now the present clerk, who was the manager of elections, 3.5-hour wait times. I looked at that, Judge, as a business owner. I could have minded my own business. I could have stayed living a great life, my husband and I. But instead, I stood up and I said, I can fix that.
Lady was a real cowboy, yo.
She's a wild cowboy.
This is what we gonna do.
Running up on people.
To Ms. Peters.
This is when it gets real, right here.
Presenting them. They didn't have a team of assistants helping them. They're not getting rides in private jets all over the country. No, the people who sit in that chair suffer, generally speaking, immeasurable trauma in life, struggle mightily with alcohol abuse, substance abuse, mental health struggles, family loss. They come from broken homes. The cards they were dealt were never the cards that you were dealt. So when I hear you discuss your husband, who sadly passed away recently, your family struggles, and your son, who served our country admirably and made the ultimate sacrifice, I consider it. And I know, too, that he honored his oath to the country, something that is not lost on me when considering the circumstances under which you find yourself here.
Oh, damn.
I fucked up.
No, and the like are certainly
No, you don't fuck.
negating the community are what they are, but your reputation at this point is poor because of what you've done here and after. Your lies are well documented, and these convictions are serious. I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could.
Oh, no.
You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You have no respect for the checks and balances of government. You have no respect for this court. You have no respect for law enforcement. And you do not have respect for your fellow colleagues when you were a clerk and recorder who weren't lockstep in your beliefs. Indeed, just weeks before trial, you were apparently doing what I mentioned earlier, that is, over at the clerk and recorder's office where you're not supposed to be, violating the protection order by speaking to employees of that entity with your camera crew in tow.
Hibachi.
That fucked up, don't you? No, it does.
You have no qualms with violating the court's orders because you're innocent, because you didn't do anything wrong. You were just doing your job. You have no problem trying to kick an officer. Your explanation about what happened is preposterous. It's on video. You have no problem lying to officers. It's happened multiple times. They're recorded conversations. It's just more lies. No objective person believes them. No, at the end of the day, you cared about the jets, the podcasts, and the people fawning over you. You abdicated.
She got a podcast. She getting her money right.
All else. Yes, you are a charlatan. And you cannot lie as easy as
Again, he hit him with this. He hit
for no one other than you. And this is what makes Miss Peters such a danger to our community. It's the position she held that has provided her the pulpit from which she can preach these lies. The undermining of our democratic process, the undermining of the belief and confidence in our election systems. It's not about questioning it. No one says you can't question, you can't ask. It's completely different. And if you don't understand, I can say or do here today, that will change your mind.
Nothing.
So the damage that is caused and continue to be caused is just as bad, if not worse, than the physical violence that this court sees on an all too regular basis. And it's particularly damaging when those words come from someone who holds a position of influence like you. Every effort to undermine the integrity of our elections and public's trust in our institutions has been made by you. You've done it from that lectern the voting public provided you with. Everything you've done has been done to retain control, influence. The damage is immeasurable.
Like somebody else I know, somebody who got it jammed up.
I'm at peace with all of the decisions I've made here. If anything, I gave you and your counsel far too much leeway at times, but the rulings I made came after much consideration, incredible amounts of internal debate, and I trust in accordance with the applicable law. I consider the sentence here, in this case, what are available to me. Community corrections wasn't requested, but it wouldn't be an option in any event, and an incarcerated sentence to the Department of Corrections. Probation's focus is rehabilitation. That is for folks who have minimal criminal histories, low LSI scores like you, Ms. Peters, but where punishment isn't really on the table.
You're going to jail.
It's much more stringent than probation, but it's not prison. And it's for folks who have even higher needs. Again, drug addicts, alcohol abusers, and the like. And prison is for those folks where we send people who are a danger to all of us. Whether it be by the pen or the sword or the word of the mouth. Prison is where folks go, where punishment is what we're focused on, because the crime committed is so significant.
And they can't do nothing. Sit up there and take it. Just take this beat down, this word salad that I'm going to give you.
I mentioned before, there are no mental health concerns. There's no good reason why you're here, Ms. Peters, other than these are all the active decisions that you made that cost our county significantly, but also, more importantly, cost you greatly. Mr. Wood, all the members of the county who worked and trusted you when you asked them to do things that they did on your behalf as part of your lies. The expense, the toll is immeasurable. So putting you on probation when you have 0 needs that would be met by probation is the definition of unduly depreciating the significance of what it is that you've done here.
Unduly depreciating significance.
No basing for you.
Community corrections is the same. So prison is the only place that duly meets the purposes of sentencing in this matter. And therefore the sentence and judgment of the court is as follows. As to counts 1 and 4, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Those sentences will be concurrent to each other. As to count 2, the judgment and sentence of the court is 3.5 years consecutive to counts 1 and 4. Ooh. As it relates to the misdemeanor charges,
that's 7. Yeah.
120 days in the Mesa County Detention Facility, concurrent to count 9 and 10, which will be 6 months in the Mesa County Detention Facility, consecutive to the prison sentence. The reason those sentences are consecutive is because those sentences are, as the prosecution stated, directly related to what it is that you did here in our community, the damage you caused this community, the breach of your oath to the electorate in Mesa County.
Ooh.
Your sentence will be followed by 3 years of parole. You have 2 days of pre-sentence confinement credit.
2 days.
Anything I missed? To address.
Judge, I think you missed a sentencing on count 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. Count 6 is criminal impersonation. That's also consecutive. That's 15 months to the Department of Corrections. So it's 8.5 years total, plus the 6 months for a total of 9 years.
9 times.
Incarceration.
I think the only other thing is the cost of prosecution, Your Honor.
Is there an objection to the cost of prosecution, Mr. Case? We can set up for hearing if you need to. If you need to have time to respond to it, I can give you that as well.
So yeah, man. To be up there in front of the judge like that, man, it's ugly. It's ugly to be up there. You know what I mean? And that lady, she got slapped down for out here running around, man. Just got her hands in everybody's business, trying to overturn a fair and free election for this dude who don't give a damn about you.
None.
Not one.
This lady, her grandkids got to go to school and get ribbed on about their grandmoms rocking the new Orange is Black. We all know how kids play, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they play for keeps. And she in an affluent, she come from a affluence. So that's even 10 times worse over there. Give it to me, UA.
Man, listen, that's what happens. That's why I love American law when it's applied properly, because there's a remedy for everything. Now, we've all been in front of judges for one reason or another. I'm still in front of judges on a weekly basis, I would say. But they're funny, man. Not if they're funny, but you find so many different types. And this guy was so serious about applying the law to her. You know what I mean? And if you think about the things that she did, she tried to intimidate election workers. She went to, which weren't in her county. She had her election workers doing, looking into other counties, spending their county budget. You know what I mean? So she was way out of step. And the judge said, you had a podcast. You were still violating orders of protections. Man, you had jets, lawyers flying in on jets. So it was a big thing, man. And the big, something that she really needs to understand, and this is why it's important to understand civics, y'all. Trump can't save her because she got sentenced by the state. She didn't get sentenced by the feds, so she gonna sit there. You know what I mean? Unless the government gives her a part and say, hey, man, you play a stupid game, you win a stupid prize.
You drilled it down to the root cause, man. Again, privilege had a lot to do with what she was out here doing. She took her white privilege along with her affluence ways together and, oh, I got this for you out here in Arizona, Mr. Trump, President Trump. What about this lady, P?
Yeah, I think I saw an interview with her one time on my timeline. Someone asked her, what are the possibilities of you and Trump going to jail for the things that you've done. She laughed it off. She was like, if I thought I was going to jail, I'd be somewhere on the beach, hanging out, drinking Mai Tais, blase splee. She didn't take any of this seriously. You know what I mean? She didn't think she was going anywhere. I'm thankful, like Don said, that this judge had some integrity, because he could have gave her a light sentence because of what she looked like and because of her privilege. He was like, nah, check this out here. Me and Fro was talking about it yesterday. He was like, man, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere, you charlatan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You done took your privilege to levels that are extremely unnecessary. How about I give you this? Bow, bow, bow. 9 in the wake up. How about that? Take that with you. You know what I'm saying? She deserved it. And I'm glad that this judge has some integrity, man. I love it. I love it. Everything he was saying when Fro was hitting the fucked up right button. You know, it was like, that's what he was saying. He was so professional about saying, have you lost your mind, lady? Are you crazy? You go sit your ass down. That's pretty much what he said.
He was literally hot.
Yeah, he was upset. Yeah.
He had the audacity to try to pull that stuff off. But the thing about it is, she's so drunk where she at with how she living and how she moving. She like, I'm going to go ahead and put my hands in this because of who I am and how I move in this county out here.
There was one point, Fro, where she told the judge I was watching, she was like, it was true. And he was like, don't involve me in your shit. Somebody come get this bitch. Sit your ass down for 9 in the wake up. You lost your damn mind.
That's another 6 months for that bullshit that you just threw out here on the table. Like, here, have that. It's good. I'm not going to say it's good, but it's important to understand that it's consequences and repercussions to all of this that we out here doing. We've laughed and joked about us laying on the gas a little bit and getting speeding tickets and different things of that nature. It's consequences and repercussions to blowing it at the end of the day. And she blew it big.
Hard.
What she did, you know what I mean? She down in the Mesa County, curled up in a fetal position, crying. And Agent Ernst is running around in his jet, ain't thought about you once. Again, consequences and repercussions, man. And I say that to say this, man. Y'all know I'm down here in the Ville in Tennessee, and they just had a verdict come down in M-Town in Memphis with Tyre Nichols, man. And it comes back again to understanding that there's consequences and repercussions to the shit that you out here doing. Yeah, you got a badge and this and that, and you got a taser, and you got a cruiser and all of that. But at the end of the day, you a cop, but you a black cop. And the KRS told us years ago, about the black cop and how they power trip. We can always reference the Boys in the Hood scene when the cop pulled Trey and what's my man's Ricky pulled Trey and Ricky over in the bug.
Hate little motherfuckers like you. Little niggas, you ain't shit.
And he just flexes his muscle and his self-hate out of nowhere. And for all the cops out there, all the black cops are not crazy and out of control, but there are a good portion of them out there that are and that do be out of control. And that was the case with Tyre Nichols. Man, let's get into this real quick. One time down, fellas.
3 things to know for Thursday, October 3rd. 3 former Memphis police officers have been found guilty in the beating death of 29-year-old Sacramento native Tyre Nichols. The deadly beating was caught on camera during a 2023 traffic stop. The 3 officers were found guilty of witness tampering. All but 1 were acquitted of all civil rights charges. Former officer Demetrius Haley was convicted of a lesser charge of violating Nichols' civil rights, causing bodily injury.
We're happy that they all have been convicted and they have been arrested.
And that's very important that the jury found all of them in some way participated in the crime and that Tyre Nichols' death won't go unaccounted for.
The 5 officers in Nichols' death were part of the Memphis Police Department's Scorpion Unit, which looks for drugs, illegal guns, and violent offenders. It was disabled after Nichols' death.
Prosecutors in Los Angeles plan to review the Menendez brothers' convictions. The brothers Eric and Lyle admitted to killing their parents.
So Again, man, that's a sad situation. That brother lost his life by the hands of other black men who were drunk on power, thinking because they are down with this particular Scorpion crew that they had the same privileges that they white counterparts had. And no, y'all don't. And y'all took that man's life for no reason.
No.
It wasn't like he shot at y'all. You know what I mean? It wasn't like y'all had no high-speed car chase and he ran over pedestrians and different things of that nature, or even was fighting y'all. From what we just saw, the man was laying on the ground and y'all got happy with y'all nightsticks. Memphis police, UH.
You know, it's tough with black cops because we know that, you know, they're black, you know, first and foremost, but they're also cops. So it's always a tightrope that we have to walk, number one, with law enforcement, but even more razor thin with black cops, because you don't know if they're on your side. Like, okay, man, you cool. I can dig it. Go get it. Take this ticket and keep it moving. Or they on, like you said, the boys in the Duke, boys in the hood. I can't stand you niggas. Or, you know what I mean? I can't stand your gums. They black. It's some black people out there who don't see themselves as being black first.
Right.
They see themselves as being a cop. So you have to always keep that in mind. And real quick, that's two things on that. That's actually one of the reasons, like I've always said, is that I moved to Atlanta, because I felt that just in case anything ever happened, that at least I would be around some black people in a black system, and probably we would have to deal with black police officers, which is the case. The second thing is that the chief of the Memphis police is a former member of the Atlanta Red Dog unit.
Oh, wow.
Take that. Now, if you know about the Red Dogs in Atlanta, you don't know about the Red Dogs is where the phrase jump out boys used to came from. The boys used to roll up on the Red Dog unit was red every drug dealer out of Georgia. I forgot what the acronym is for, but basically what it was, a group that was brought in before the 1990s Olympics. That basically came in and just ripped up the community. You know what I'm saying? They was jumping out on boys, throwing boys in jail, giving them crazy sentences. They actually got disbanded in 2000, I think it was six or seven, when they got a warrant on the wrong house and went in and killed like a 92-year-old lady. So it's been disbanded since then. But the chief of the Memphis police is actually a former member of the Red Dog unit. So that's where the Scorpion unit came in.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? They've got plenty of units like that all over the country. You know what I mean? Usually every large police force has some type of tactical, urban, basically assault unit that's there. Y'all got one too?
Like you said, everybody got a TNT.
Yeah.
Tactical narcotics team. Everybody got that in their local, especially in the urban area, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And my final thing is, we have to, this is what I don't understand. And I thought about this the other day. If our areas are so police so heavy, but we also have the highest crime rates, who's not doing their job? If you got cops everywhere and shit is still happening, what the hell is going on for real? You know what I mean? That needs to be considered, man.
Again, as we are these 29 days in the wake up away, what does Project 2025 talk about giving these dudes?
Total police
immunity, yeah.
So it's like free ass whooping season. I remember as a kid, and I'm coming to you next, Lord. I can remember as a kid how Precinct 16 used to terrorize Bailey Avenue. They would just pick dudes up, slap them, just get them up against the car and slap fire out of boys for no reason, you know? The Raider has been in our lives for a long time. From one way or another. But this whole Tyre Nichols, man, and you see his mom's out there building it with Ben Crump. Ben Crump is always going to be on the scene when it come down to the police brutality and different things of that nature, man. What's your thoughts on that, Lord?
You know what? You guys are familiarizing me with this. I wasn't too familiar with this, actually. It's a tragic situation. I remember seeing an interview with Michael J. White when he said he took the police exam and he scored too high. And they told him, you scored too high. We can't accept you. Meaning they don't want you to have your own thought process. So if you're a black cop, you can easily be turned blue. to a point where you don't even think that you're black anymore because you're a part of the blue now. And to take another black man's life, it doesn't resonate with you because now you're blue, because you have a low IQ, or you have an IQ where someone can lead you to do something to your own brother, which is disgusting. And Fro said all cops aren't bad cops, this, that, and the other. But if you are a cop and you see this going on and you don't do anything about it, what are you? You're a bad cop also. You know what I'm saying? So it's disheartening for his mom and his family. Like Fro said, this man didn't give y'all any reason to take his life. He didn't shoot at y'all. He didn't run over nobody. He didn't do anything to deserve his life to be taken away. It's horrible. It's just horrible. I can't stand it.
You know, and it's we were talking about with the lady from Mesa County ruining her grandkids' lives and different things. And the same thing with those cops. Y'all done ruin your parents, your kids, your siblings. Now everybody is attached to y'all who took this man's life for no reason. And because again, your nightsticks got good to you. It was like on some Rodney King 2019 type stuff. Again, and it's a sad situation, and it didn't have to go down like that, man. That's what I'm gonna say on that. As we continue on this particular episode, tell them, Lord, what we need them to do for us, Lord.
We need you to like, share, subscribe, comment. What we need to do to that notification bell, hit
Ring that bell, man, so you can get that soup while it's hot, man. So check this out, my brethren. So we all know it's 29 days in the wake up to the election. Kamala is bringing out the big guns. She's bringing out the real big homie and the Queen Elegant Divine. They're going to come out and do some campaigning for her. And for those who don't know, that's Barack and Michelle Obama are coming out in the month of October for her. I saw she sat down with all the smoke with Matt and
I saw that.
That was a real good interview. Let me show y'all this picture real quick. What happened at the Trump rally? So this is in Michigan. Take a look at who down on the getting his back dirty. As I say, don't fuck around and get your back dirty. But this is him, the black man.
With his Trump gear on, huh?
Yeah, with his Trump paraphernalia on, with a bunch of MAGA taking it to him. Look at that.
Two of them.
They working him. As we continue on and get close to the election, I'm gonna ask y'all, as I always ask you, what are your thoughts? What are your feelings as we barrel towards the election? UH, how do you feel now? 29 in the wake up.
I still feel good. I just think that it's going to be closer than people are anticipating. There's no need to celebrate on either side. I think it's going to be close. But like I said, I have faith in America and the fact that we don't want a dictator. And hopefully common sense will just prevail over our country. I know where my vote's going. I know where y'all guys' votes are going.
Common sense ain't common though, Lord.
Yeah, that's true, man. And that's what gives me hesitation. I'm not scared, but that's what gives me hesitation. So I want you to email me that picture that you just sent. So I can put it right on my Facebook and be like, oh, this is what y'all looking forward to. So lay that on me. But because I think that we are, like I said, us and you said the Shavatas are the Negroes and the Shavatos are gonna be the big thing when it comes to deciding who is who. And I don't think a lot of people realize that.
That's a good point.
29 in the wake up, Panero. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, bro. I think the tables are tilted towards VP Harris. And I say that because of Mike Pence, actually. Recently, Mike Pence had been interviewed regarding Donald Trump, and he don't have nothing good to say about this guy. and he shouldn't have anything good to say about him. Shit, he put him through. A lot of people will look at Mike Pence, and a lot of the people in this country, Europeans, can actually associate themselves with Pence and feel like, you know what, this guy is horrible, man. Maybe I shouldn't vote for him. The vice president is telling me, the former vice president is telling me that this guy is not a good guy. So I think that may sway some votes over towards VP Harris. And that's my thinking. That's my hoping. Like I said, like you guys said earlier, we know where our votes are going. So I think Pence will probably sway some other people also.
I was talking to my lady, man, and I was telling her I'm not looking forward to the election day, man, because I remember these last two, the Hillary and Trump and the Trump and Biden, were the most anxious that I've ever been. Even when the real big homie was doing his thing, I was never as anxious for him as I was for Hillary, and as I was for Biden, and I know I'm gonna feel that way for VP Harris, man. It's because I don't trust these cats. I don't trust them, man. They are very gullible and they very racist. And now you got to add
the sexism to it.
Yes, now you got to add that to it. So that's what gives me pause, y'all. And I can remember when Trump beat Hillary, I can remember how mad I was that the next day. Just heated at America, because it showed their ism was really front and center when they elected him, because it was no good reason. Obviously, Comey came out and did that bullshit the week before the election. We can visit that in an episode at some point or another. But again, man, I'm not really looking forward to it, because like I said, this would be 3 elections in a row that I was anxious about the outcome. Because with Biden shit, that it didn't come through until a week later almost. Because I remember we were heading to Atlanta, and I don't remember exactly what we were going to Atlanta for. It was me and my mom, and we were coming down to the A for whatever reason. And it was announced over the radio that it was finally certified that Biden was the president, had won the election. And that's what I'm saying, man. We all know last time the foolishness that went down. We just saw this lady get 9 years.
Right.
For trying to, I'm going to take it back to the 80s. She trying to perpetrate
a fraud.
Perpetrating the fraud, but you gotta do like this.
Come on, man. I'm always going to man.
She's perpetrating the fraud, man.
Trying to perpetrate the fraud, B. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't trust it, y'all. It's for the situations like that. And it's gonna be on 10 this time around. If they tried so hard last time, I'm glad that I'm gonna be able to build with y'all about the situation. We might have to try to pop on.
Yeah, I was thinking
special election night coverage. Special election night live coverage. We need that for election night.
But yeah, man, y'all gonna have to. I might even smoke a square. You know what I'm saying?
Have a drink in a square.
Man, grab a Lucy out his pocket.
Like they got me like Mikel Pfeiffer and Soul Food, dressed out with the square, rubbing his head. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I'm serious, man. That's my
respect it. I completely understand, man. It's the wild thing is, man. That's why Jade left. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's why she left, because she was like, "Listen, I don't want to be here when this election goes down. I'm gonna be in Africa." She said, "She's gonna be in Africa from like November to February because she want to make sure that what she wants to be far away until the country settles." I don't think it's gonna be like that. You never know with the way things have been around here these last. Anyway, these boys don't want to lose because they so used to getting participation trophies, man. I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
She pulled a Chappelle on us, huh?
Man, she with it. She told me that. I told her that's what she was going to do. She's not playing with it.
Respect, man.
No, much respect.
It's a lot of other things that we wanted to get in on this episode, but we're going to table that until next week. Jaguar Wright and her salacious ways and different things of that nature, man. But before we go, I always bring the soup to my mans and them and let them put their own special recipe and their own little seasoning on it. So I'm going to start with you. What you got for us this week, man?
Man, you know what? I love beautiful black women. I love y'all. I love them. That's my first love. The women I grew up around, the girls I dated, and for all this time, my extensive dating history. However, recently I had become frustrated with the whole black woman experience because it seemed like every woman that I met, oh, you gotta buy me this, so I want to be spoiled, or whoop-de-woo, or blah-de-blah. And I'm like, oh. When I go hang out with my Spanish chicks, they don't. It's a completely different thing. When I hang out with Asian chicks, it's a completely different thing, right? I was, like I said, I was getting discouraged, but I actually had a chance to meet someone who changed my opinion. The thing about it is that, and this is what I wanted, my point, is that there are plenty of good black women out there. There are also hot girls, city girls, as we used to call them back in the day, skeezers, scallywags, jump offs, whatever you want to say. But it's important that even though we're constantly bombarded by those images on social media, there are a lot of good black women out there. You have to just look past that and understand what they really are, man. So shouts out to the black women out there. I love y'all.
We love y'all. We love y'all.
We love y'all. Yeah. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Lord, let's do this.
Here at Men of a Certain Age, we don't idolize politicians. We vote according to our interests. Stop being out here idolizing politicians. That's like believing that a stripper really likes you. That's for men of a certain age.
She don't like you.
Sweet and to the point. Sometimes you gotta add a little something sweet to your ingredients. But again, so before we wrap, man, Texans, Bills. Y'all gonna keep it 100 this time? Y'all can't just go with your fandom and just say you gotta give me your real analysis on this, UA. How you feeling about this game at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Real analysis is the Bills are down a lot of people, however, and they are playing in Houston. However, Buffalo does travel. Bills Mafia is great at getting on that plane. Woo, Lord, but I don't know, man. I think we got a lot of defensive. We got to play some good defense. That's all I got to say. Hopefully the Bills can pull it off.
Panero, how you feeling, man? Give it to me. Last week, y'all painted a picture of joy and the Bills.
But we did say they got to stop the running game. We both said they got to stop the running game, and look what happened. First play.
So I'm gonna come to you again. This time. What they gonna do today, man?
I'm gonna be real with you. My pops just texted me the same answer. I had to text him back. I'm like, we too hurt, Dad. You know what I'm saying? We don't got enough right now to pull it off. And Houston is not up. They are no joke. You know what I mean? The only way we can win this game is if we pull a Vandy on their ass and jump on them quick. But if we don't start off fast, it's not going to happen for us. Houston 21, the Mafia 17.
Oh!
You know? Sorry, man. That's how I got to keep it real, man.
I respect it.
That's what we want. We want the realness in the suit.
Too many holes in the defense right now, fam.
Yeah, that defense is woo.
If we don't do anything on the soup, we're going to keep it real. But that is the latest and the greatest of the episode. Men of a Certain Age, the soup. As always, man, it's the same old soup, and we just reheating it. Until next time, man, peace and love.